joke set up? I can make a whole show out of that. What's the other story?
The controversial shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin 1 month ago in Sanford, Florida.
You know, I'm sure, by the way, that is a very different headline in the organ community. Probably something like, innocent heart sentenced to life in Cheney. Boom! Boom! I'm going to get to do a ton of these today.
Martin had gone out to buy candy wearing a hooded sweatshirt,
carrying Skittles and an iced tea. A local neighborhood watch captain saw him.
28-year-old George Zimmerman was acting as a neighborhood watch guy.
He followed Trayvon Martin. He chased him despite the police dispatcher telling him not to.
Heart transplant? Isn't it more of a heart plant when you don't have an original? Hey, I think we have a clip of Cheney selecting the new organ.
Police appear to have done a very cursory investigation.
Zimmerman has not been charged with any crime and continues to carry the weapon that killed Trayvon.
Are you Hey, everybody. Here's my impression of Dick Cheney's surgeon. Removing Cheney's original heart. Ah, it bit me! Oh, son of a... Oh, oh my God! Why does the human heart have fangs? All right, I can't do this. How is this guy Zimmerman not charged with anything? How can the guy still have a gun that he shot this kid with?
George Zimmerman is not under arrest, perhaps in part because of Florida's stand your ground law.
Ah, Florida! I feel like Florida and Arizona are locked in a harms race.
I'm pretty convinced that the host of the talk show was saying the whole time, right in the face of his audience, that Trayvon Martin was killed to donate a heart to Dick Cheney. Crazy as it seems, I see no other explanation, and assuming that the synchronicity of both events was no coincidence, I applied Kabbalah numerology to their names, and put the results alongside with other eerie details, and what came out of it is astonishing to say the least. Dick Cheney's full name equals 9. Trayvon Martin's full name equals 6. What is an inverted 9? He got his heart transplant exactly 29 days after Martin died. What by numerology equals 11? Again we see these same numbers so important to occultist Freemasons, and always spotted in tragic events with the hand of the Illuminati. But it doesn't end here. Trayvon Martin died with the age of 17, and Cheney got a heart transplant with the age of 71. What are the odds of all these occult numbers mirroring each other? Be just a random coincidence.
And when I think about this boy, I think about my own kids.
In my opinion, besides the whole race war PSY operation, the legion of racist agent provocateurs inducing the American people into believing that the U.S. government is blowing this case out of proportion for incite racial hate, actually are creating a smokescreen to divert the public attentions from the secret symbols and messages being told by the powers that be, for communicating the Freemasons all over the United States, that Trayvon Martin was sacrificed. Why Obama mentioned Trayvon Martin as his own son? According to conspiracy theorists, Barack Obama is a 32-degree Prince Hall Freemason, and if so, perhaps you may understand why he told that, after you take a look at some creepy photos of Trayvon's father, Tracy Martin, posted on his Facebook page, that already were removed.
But my main message is
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, Trayvon Martin's father is a Freemason, probably a member of the Prince Hall's Order as Obama himself, and if so, the odds of more members of Martin's family being Freemasons are pretty big, as well as the odds of Trayvon has been killed in an occultist ritual. For the record, I'm not saying that his father took part on it, but he surely paid a terrible price for joining the Freemasonry.
Let's not play this double standard.
And as long as some of these famous civil rights leaders ahead of the rallies in Sanford also are members of the Illuminati Freemason Zionist apparatus, the evidence is pointing out to another tragic event created for ritualistic purposes of evil secret societies that escape the understanding of the masses, are hidden in plain sight. And such societies spare no efforts to manipulate and sacrifice humans, no matter whether they are white people, black people, Latin, Arab, Asian, and any other ethnic group of this planet. Unfortunately, they have succeeded big time in countries like the United States, where the people fail and see what is really going on, and are too busy hating each other domestically or making wars with other countries.
The killing of Martin by Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman has triggered a wave.
Zimmerman's attorney Craig Sonner is with us.
Insofar as the race war psy operation going on through Trayvon Martin's case grows and finds easy room amid the racist American society, it blinds the people to see the gaps in this whole story. Why the Florida police is lacking in commitment to investigate the crime. Why George Zimmerman is being protected by local authorities. Why he's backed up by expensive law firms. Why there's a massive campaign to denigrate the murdered kid. Why there are so many agent provocateurs taking over the internet for incitate racial hate. Why every detail in this case suggests the involvement of Freemasons. Why there's a flawless synchronicity between Trayvon's death and Dick Cheney's heart transplant. Why the host of that famous talk show made sure of imply this connection on American TV. Is it possible that Americans are so blind by their stupid racism that they just can see things standing right in front of their eyes?
This is what the batteries look like, and they're good for about 10 hours. Yeah, it starts to beat when, when I do this, of course, whoever.
Yeah, I think you should put it back in. Yeah.
Back then, Cheney was unsure whether he would ever get a heart transplant.
This has gotten good enough over the years that we've got a lot of people now.
Welcome back, welcome back. Of course, I know it was a lot for some of you, but for those of you that are above the fray and have your eyes open, have that pineal gland open, you know there's more to this story than what they've been telling us that's been going on down there in Florida. So let me open up the lines. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, 410-761-1592. But let me add, I do know that Al Sharpton is a Knight of Malta. I do know that for a fact in terms of Al Sharpton. That's why they call it the reinvention of Al Sharpton. And while I'm talking about that and waiting for you to get in on the conversation, let me give you the name of those police officers that I wanted to share. So I was reading the official police report online here last night once again, and to see that there were Officer Smith, which I got a guest in the studio, Officer Sergeant Raimondo, let's keep going here, Officer Wagner, Officer Meade, Officer Robertson, the Major Crimes Division were there. Let's see if we got any other names here. So these are some officers that we just going to go ahead and put their names in. We're going to offer them up to put them into the Hall of Shame right now. So you had at least 10 officers' names that I've given you already in terms of, again, these officers there in Sanford, Florida that were at the scene, but yet when it came to putting them on the stand, none of these names ever appeared on the witness stand to be placed under, oath in terms of what they knew of what happened to Trayvon Martin. So all of that is very interesting. But let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments. I still had some other stories I wanted to get into, talking about the Baltimore City public school system losing millions of dollars, and Andre Alonzo should be brought back in charge, along with Tisha, I get a waiver. Tisha, I get a waiver, get a hookup, because I'm not qualified to be a superintendent, but yet your family members who are teachers and principals can't get a waiver. But as long as Tisha Edwards going to do what the fake nonprofit industrial complex individuals want her to do, then they'll make a way for her, but they won't make a way for your loved ones who are teachers, and they'll kick them out the door. And I'm talking about senior teachers, and they'll bring in some Filipinos and some of these white, again, fake white liberals They got a better relationship to a damn BlackBerry than they do to black children, and give them a job, man. And where's your insult level on that? But let me give you that clip maybe, and then I'm coming to the lines. 410-761-1592. And this clip is only about maybe a minute long, courtesy of WBAL, talking about the fact state Baltimore school system losing money. Listen to this message, and we'll come back with more of the state of the city. So in the meantime, in between time, listen to this, and we'll be back with more of the state of the city. We coming to the lines. I see you. You can get in on the conversation, but be patient. So let me see if we can get this up. If not, then we're going to come straight to the line. Look like we're having some problems with this one. If not, we'll get it back, get it to you, get in on the conversation. We'll come to the lines now. 410-761-1592. Talking about death of Trayvon Martin. And, of course, you got Carlton Douglas coming up talking about the insurance. And we're going to have to ask the question, how could the family get a payout 30 days after Trayvon Martin was killed, and the insurance policy didn't go into effect until 30 days after Trayvon Martin was killed? And it seems that if those who paid out the insurance, the lawyers for the insurance company, along with the attorney for the homeowners association, were not put on the witness stand as well. Now, if you're a prosecutor, how in the hell you going to have a case and you don't put the people who paid out millions of dollars on the witness stand as well? But let me come to the line. Take your thoughts, questions, comments, because maybe some of you ain't ready for this kind of conversation. Maybe you really aren't, because you so socially engineered regarding what's going on that you can't stop and think that perhaps you are really being used by Sharpton and Ben Jealous, Mark Morial, and others, even black media, to tell you that this is clearly about stand your ground when nothing could be further from the truth, when it's really about racial profiling, spatial profiling, and perhaps something even bigger in terms of, again, organ trafficking, as I said with the living legend, Baba Dick Gregory, regarding, again, organ trafficking against our children in this country, and that's black, brown, red, yellow, and white in terms of the organ trafficking by these satanic forces that some of you may not be capable of dealing with, but some of us are born for this day and this time and this hour. So let me go to this clip quickly of WBAL, and then we come into the line talking about the Baltimore City public school system losing the money that they have lost, and what will happen now. Will Alonzo be brought back in charge? Will Tisha Edwards be charged? And others in terms of the loss of millions of dollars from the city of Baltimore. So let me come to the line, and then we'll get into that clip. 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the state of the city.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
In reference to what you say boycotting, it's just eerie what you just said. The words of Dr. King, that tape that you ran the other day.
Yes, sir.
Remember what he said, to boycott seal test milk and Coca-Cola?
That's right.
He said that years ago.
That's
Guess
right.
who Gatorade is made by?
That's
Coca-Cola.
Well, actually, PepsiCo owns it. Yes, sir. PepsiCo owns it.
Gatorade, PepsiCo, all of them involved in that ALEC, man. It's amazing. AT&T, Verizon, Comcast, Bill Gates. The list goes on and on. McDonald's, which also hosts the what? Tom Joyner Morning Show.
Yeah, but
you think he would say anything?
No. That's why they can give away some free scholarship money supposedly to the young sister Rachel Gentile, brother. But we're going to start small and not bombard the people with too much, but start small with little companies that they can start with. They're not little companies, but little names that people see every day, the Gatorade and the orange juice, all right?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you for checking in. And with that, we'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Look like they might be jamming my lines here. So let me go to this clip of BAL, and then we'll come back to the lines.
Baltimore City school system may lose millions of dollars in federal education money, dollars that were theirs to spend.
Yeah, the state claims the district failed to spend $3.5 million in federal stimulus money. That money was to turn around poorly performing schools. 11 News reporter Tim Tootin has details.
The federal dollars were earmarked to make improvements at schools like Baltimore's Booker T. Washington Middle. It's one of 7 turnaround schools where the state claims dollars have not been used. That's why state officials are trying to hold on to the millions. They're asking the feds for an extra year to find places to spend it.
It don't make sense to me.
Meantime, some Baltimore parents were puzzled by the news.
Why can't they keep it in the district up there? You see the schools? They're terrible.
Like we had some more difficulty with that. We'll come back and give that to you in its entirety. With that, let me come back to the lines. Good afternoon, caller. You on the state of the city.